Welcome to a Cafe Critique where we dive deep into the worlds of your favorite fictional characters. Today, we'll be exploring Spawn.
Oh, it's such a crazy story. And he looks crazy. Like you can barely tell that this is Michael Jai White. Like barely. And he was a CIA operative, right? I believe he was a CIA assassin, right? And he worked for a secret government agency. But he was always conflicted. Even though he was an assassin, he was always like it wasn't really what he wanted to do, but he was good at it and it just kind of became a part of him in a sense. And I know that he was on a mission, but it ended in tragedy where his boss basically betrayed him or set him up and he ended up dying. And after he died, he ended up finding himself in the underworld. And while in the underworld, he made a deal with a demon. He agreed to be basically in his demon army. And upon making that agreement, he became a spawn. So in that demon army, you would have to be imbued with powers and whatnot. And he became a spawn of that army. He ultimately did it because in making that agreement, he would be able to return to Earth and hopefully reconnect with his wife. And it didn't go as planned. But upon making that, he didn't know that he would not come back as himself. He really didn't get any of the details. He was just following his heart and he wanted to be with his wife again. Once he came back to Earth, he was not only charred and burned up because of what had happened to him in his death, he also was transformed into Spawn, where he had superhuman abilities, he had powers, but he was also, he had to be loyal to the demon army and the demon world. So it wasn't what he expected everything to be. He was disfigured, but then he also had the ability to manipulate necroplasma, which also made him very powerful. He was a highly trained assassin. He was superhuman. He had speed and agility, necroplasm manipulation, and shape shifting. He could pick up a shadow, and he had healing abilities. The only thing about the necroplasm is that it's a finite thing, so it will run out. Oh my god! As a kid, he was like one of my favorites. I don't know why. I have no idea. Maybe because I'm a fan of Michael Jai White. Like I'm a fan of a bit of his work. Before he started getting goofy with like the Tyler Perry films, like I still like him in those, but I liked him in Spawn and like Blood and Bone, where he was just out there like kicking butt. He was out there kicking butt. And then we have his cons. I only have a few. If you guys got some cons for Spawn or what you remember about Spawn, discuss them. I want to know. But he depended on the necroplasm, and then heavenly or divine powers. So like angelic powers, holy powers were his weakness. Internal struggles surrounding his wife and his family. Like if you even in the movie, like where he got tricked by the Violator, and I forgot the other actor. I forgot what the other guy's name was. Jack, Jim, something like that. I can't remember. But I remember the scene where they had Wanda in like this little constraint type of thing, and he was making a demand like save her or do what I want you to do, and you know he's like, well, you took too long, and then he kills her, and it actually ended up being the Violator, but not Wanda. But Wanda was still safe. She was still tied up, but she was safe in that moment, and he kind of got tricked, and his emotions like, ugh, they like really got the best of him. Like I don't know. They it was crazy. And like he finally like sees that Wanda's safe, but he still doesn't go after the dude to kill him. He's like, I just can't do it. I can't do it anymore. And I was just like, wow. Spawn's had some wacky villains. Yes, he did. But that was kind of like the funny parts about it. Like what kept us watching. Like who was he gonna encounter next? John Leguizamo playing Violator was hilarious. The chubby clown. I wonder how heavy that costume really was. But what would you guys do? Like, if you had the ability to manipulate necroplasm, like if you were Spawn and you could do that, like, I know he had to use it to, like, he would forge weapons out of his body, like his hands would turn to blades. Um, I remember when he, like, opened his chest and, like, sucked in the locket of him and his wife. Um, I don't know. Would you feel like if you were Spawn and you were put in a situation and you feel like you were betrayed um by the demon, um would you carry out your plans and be loyal, or would you, rebel, resist, kind of like Spawn did in the end? But I don't know. Me, if I would think of like me, my personal self, I'm too nice. I don't even think I would have made the deal. But if I was an assassin, my mindset would be totally different. But even with him being an assassin, he didn't really want to kill those people. It was just, something he was good at. An adult, I watched and I was just like, oh, he's just a good guy, just in a messed up situation. To know you're never getting your life back. I don't. Oh, it's just sad. It's just sad. What's you guys' final thoughts on Spawn before we head into the game trailer portion? My final takeaways from Spawn is he was a he was very conflicted, a very hurt guy, felt betrayed by he felt, in my opinion, I felt he felt like he was betrayed by everyone. Um He was betrayed by the demon. He was betrayed by his boss, you know, by life in general, not being able to return to his normal life. Like it probably wasn't fair to him. Um, but I loved all the crazy abilities that he had, the ability to manipulate the necroplasm and make swords and sabers and spears and whatever that thing was that came out of his arm that he was about to like clamp on the guy's head, and uh the spikes that came out of his back and all the crazy stuff. But I love the story that it told, that no matter what, even being betrayed by essentially everybody, you can still hold on to the goodness that's inside of you, because he in the end didn't really want to even kill the people who had done the worst to him. The battle between good and evil, his morality, um, trying to basically hold on to his humanity. Those were the things that I loved about it. The overcoming, the internal conflicts, and that he still was like, I want to be a good person. I might be a demon. I might be disfigured. I might never be who I once was, but I can go forward anew. And I liked that. That's really what I truly, truly liked about Spawn. So does anybody else have any final thoughts about Spawn before we go ahead and get into our trailer? But I do hope that you guys enjoyed this portion of a cafe critique as we discussed Spawn, his who he was, his pros, his cons, his strengths, his weaknesses, his inner being. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys want to check out more superheroes, be sure head to the Discord and throw me some recommendations in the section for superhero critique.
Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of A Cafe Critique, where we dive deep into the worlds of your favorite fictional characters. Be sure to like and subscribe and join the Discord so your favorite character can be featured on the next show. Also, if you'd like to visit us live, be sure to follow Cafe Jade on Twitch.